Laughter echoed off marble walls as guests circled the chessboard, waiting for the boy to fail. But with one quiet move, the room changed. The millionaire's smile faded. Her queen was trapped, and so was her pride. No one expected the maid's son to outthink a room full of privilege. They thought it was a joke until it wasn't. Eyes widened. Whispers turned sharp, and in that moment, a child proved brilliance needs no permission. This is the story of a game they never expected to lose. Welcome, story lovers. From where are you watching? Comment your city. Every morning, Jamal waited quietly in the marble hallway while his mother scrubbed the floors of the Harrington estate, a place so grand it didn't feel real. At just 12, Jamal had learned to stay invisible, clutching his second-hand backpack, solving chess puzzles on a tattered notebook as rich men passed him without a glance. His mother Maria always reminded him, be polite, be quiet, and don't touch anything. But what no one in that mansion knew was that Jamal had been studying strategy and memorizing world champion plays for years on his own. The glossy halls, gold chandeliers, and stiff suits weren't new to him anymore. But today wasn't ordinary. Today, someone was watching him, someone with a smirk. A joke was about to be played at his expense. What they didn't expect was that the boy they overlooked had been preparing for this moment his entire life. Jamal sat quietly in the corner of the grand dining hall, flipping through his chess puzzles as his mother polished the floor beneath the glittering chandelier. Laughter echoed through the room, shop, polished, dismissive. It was Mrs. Harrington and her guests, gathered for a charity luncheon, the kind where wealth is flaunted under the guise of generosity. Then came the moment. One of the guests, sipping champagne, spotted Jamal. Who's the little scholar? He asked with a grin. Mrs. Harrington chuckled. That's Maria's son. He's always scribbling in that old notebook of his. Probably just doodles. Another voice chimed in, mocking, almost daring. Let's see if he can play chess. Bet he can't tell a bishop from a pawn. Mrs. Harrington, amused and confident, waved Jamal over. Come on, sweetheart. Play around, just for fun. The guests snickered. This wasn't an invitation, it was a spectacle. Jamal hesitated, eyes scanning the room. His mother, frozen near the window, gave a cautious nod. He approached the table, heart pounding not from fear, but focus. They set the board. Mrs. Harrington leaned in, smiling like she was offering him candy, not a challenge. Don't worry, she said sweetly. Just show us what you've got. Jamal made his first move. Silence, then chuckles. But as the pieces shifted and strategies unfolded, expressions began to change. The laughter faded. Whispers grew louder. One by one, the guests circled the table. What began as a joke was turning into something else entirely. Mrs. Harrington's hand hovered over the board, her confidence unraveling. Jamal had just cornered her queen with a brutal combination she never saw coming. The room fell into stunned silence. Her face, once glowing with smug amusement, now flushed with disbelief. Did he just? A guest murmured. The millionaire leaned back, humiliated, while Jamal sat quietly, his eyes locked on the board, calm, calculating. Then came the final move. Checkmate. A gasp rippled through the room. What began as a cruel joke had ended with a 12-year-old dismantling a millionaire in front of her elite friends. Yet, instead of applause, there was awkward silence, disbelief that he could be that smart. No praise, no apology, just quiet discomfort. Jamal stood up slowly, dignity intact. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like, it really helps. Jamal didn't stay for the awkward compliments or forced smiles. He walked out of that mansion holding the same notebook, but now, with his head held higher. What was meant to humiliate him had only exposed their ignorance. But still, there were no doors opened, no scholarship offered, just silence, because genius, when wrapped in black skin and born to a maid, is still dismissed in rooms built to exclude. Jamal never stopped playing. Years later, his name would echo in tournaments far from that marble-floored estate, but the sting of that day remained not as pain, but as purpose. How many children like Jamal are out there right now, brilliant, overlooked, underestimated? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.